Okay, I think we're live. There we are. There we are. Oh, there's my Cisne. Hola, Cisne. All right, so it's Sunday, people. It's Sunday in Mexico. And Sunday is a day when a lot of people do a lot of things. And I thought, well, I haven't gone live all week. I need to go live for my peeps on Tube. And I'm going to show you. I think I saw some illegal breasts back there. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean. All right, so bear with me. And here, I'll have my my sexy lady hold that. Her breasts are not illegal. Well, anyways, there you go there. Okay, so here's the thing. You know, I've been thinking quite a bit lately and watching about how people live here and thinking, like, are we robots in the USA? Are we just following by road and doing what we're told? And one of the things I notice here is people somehow, you have to come here, I think, to really understand this, but somehow people seem more human. It's like they live and they do their thing and they don't ask permission. It doesn't mean that there's not corruption. It doesn't mean that there's not the same human problems existing here. But I've realized that our fascism and our rules and our tyranny have become so clinical in the USA. And if you think about that, it's like we follow the rules. If you want to recreate, you go to the recreation zone. And here, if you drive around on a Sunday like this, you'll just see people doing their thing, right? If they want to recreate, they just go sit under a tree or on the railroad tracks or whatever they want, right? And loitering, the idea that you wouldn't loiter would be ridiculous. Let's check this out here. I think we actually do have, this is what I mean. People just like come outside their house and they just, hola, ¿qué tienes? ¿Cuánto cuesta? 80. ¿Por todo o medio? ¿Por medio o por...?
No, completo.
Ok. ¿Tienes un medio?
Medio.
¿Cuánto por medio?
40.
Ok, está bien. Here, hold that. Okay, so literally, if you were to...
He says it's clear to pull the rest of the way full.
Bueno, okay. If you were to sell chicken breasts like that, just on the side of the road on a Sunday afternoon, I want you guys to kind of imagine what would happen, right? I want you just to think about that for a minute. What would happen if you had those chicken breasts on the side of the road? They would be illegal breasts, all right? Now, we don't even have to get into, like, you know, the fact that you can go to prison and become a sex offender for urinating on the side of the road. We're just talking about food on a barbecue that's illegal. All right, hang on, let me flip this camera. Okay, so look, this video is not clickbait. Those chicken breasts I'm buying would be illegal. They're not getting permits for this. They're not asking permission. You look at the food, you look at who's around there, right? And you think, that looks safe, that looks good, there's people there. You know, you judge a great restaurant in Mexico if it's full at eating hour, all right? Now, this is a roadside stand. You kind of measure, right? You feel it out. But most of the time, it's good food. It's good, wholesome food, okay? Think about this stuff. And I don't just mean to kind of make a joke about this. We've become robots in the USA. We really have. We live like robots. And if we don't fit the mold of the robot, the Gestapo, they come and they take us to their concentration camps. They shoot us. They taser us. They beat us to death on the side of the road. That's what Blue ISIS does. Here, the idea of a police officer just beating someone on the side of the road is absurd. Like, that's not a tolerated behavior. That's how you go to prison if you're a police officer. And so here we are. Here we are. They're getting my chicken here. All right, so you can just, I'm gonna take you up the road, okay? While I wait for the illegal breasts, once we get the illegal chicken breasts, illegal in Estados Unidos. In Mexico, it's no illegal. It's todo okay, es todo está bien in Mexico, okay? But think about, I'm trying to make an example here. Even the way I'm like parked sticking out in the road, right? Like, I don't know, I would probably get harassed for this, okay? I mean, double parking, you know what? People double park all the time. And sure, they'll do parking tickets sometimes and things like that. But what I'm trying to convey, and I hope that I show you guys in our vlogs, the Exile show, and in our live streams, is that there's a cultural difference, and to really understand that, you really need to come here. You really need to see not just Mexico, but other cultures in general. What we've been told about the USA is a lie. And if you see Latin America, it's a perfect example of that. They don't want us to know what's really going on. They don't want us to know what fascist slaves we are. Hey everybody. I'm seeing your comments, by the way. I've just kind of been driving and trying to stay focused here, but thank you all for the shout outs. It's great to see you, and I'm glad we got to go live. I noticed that my title got your attention. A title is very important, but I believe that a title should represent what's really in the video, okay? So, look, back here, they're fixing my illegal chicken breasts, all right, that you cannot buy in Estados Unidos, just like the tacos that you can't buy. There's my other breasts over there. Sorry, I'm a bad man. I'm a bad man. All right. So, look, you can stop on the side of the road without even getting out of your car, buy a chicken, roast it over hot coals, and a beer, and drive down the road sipping your beer and eating your chicken, and no one is going to care, including the cops. All right. And that's a fact. That's a fact. Now, I'm not saying that it's okay to endanger people, or I'm not talking about drunk driving or anything like that, although the penalty for that is far worse here too, because the drunk driving thing in the States is a financial scam. It has nothing to do with keeping people safe. It is unsafe to drive drunk. I don't roll that way. I don't get drunk. But what we've made of it is simply a financial scam. And so you see things work totally different here, right? You have arbitrary lines and rules and measurements. Whereas here, if you're driving down the road and you're sipping on a beer, you know, or those of you that were alive in the 70s probably remember this, right? No big deal. Nobody's gonna care as long as you're not drunk and endangering people. It's your right to drink an ale if you want. And it's not a promotion of lasciviousness or bad behavior. In fact, people, generally speaking, are very respectful. It's simply that people think more free. They think less like robots. So we right now are in Querétaro State, Central Querétaro, around Tequis, Bernal, Ezequiel Montes, San Juan. We're basically in the dead center of Mexico, from every direction, okay? And it's a great place to kind of experience just the wash of culture and all the things that go along with it. Listo? Bueno. So I'm just gonna get a half a chicken. I'm not very hungry, but I wanted to kind of show you guys that experience. It's $2 for a half a chicken, by the way. More or less, 40 pesos is about $2. 40 pesos, okay? Once you get her out, so she quits fussing. Because again, that's something you can do too, right? Sure, buckle up your kids and keep them from running all over the van. But if you don't, if you're holding them because they're fussy, again, no one cares, all right? Hang on, let me get these guys some money. There's a 10. The 10 peso coins are very cool looking, actually. Bueno. Is medio, ¿sí? 40?
Sí, por favor.
Gracias, señor.
Muchas gracias.
Buenas tardes. It's pollo. Let's see. All right, what do we got here? Here are, let me show you guys. Technically speaking, I guess I only got one breast, huh? Here's our illegal chicken right here. No, it's okay. It's Pepino. Gracias. There it is right there. Fresh off the grill. Got some peppers in there. I'll snack on that a little later. Okay, so let's drive up, because before I close this off, I want to cruise with you guys for just a moment. Here, I'll have Sandra hold. Hi, Sea Snake. No, you can point it at me.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Okay, so I saw something else here, though. It's not just the food on the road. So one other thing I've noticed is that people gather a lot here. So I've showed you guys the town squares. Well, you go down to the town square on a Sunday afternoon, and there'll be 500 people. People loiter here, right? You know, in the States, you see signs like no loitering. What that means is you have to act like a robot. Loitering is something that normal people do. They sit under a tree and they observe and they just watch people and they stare at you when you walk by because your baby is super white, right? These are normal human behaviors. Let's go down this dirt road here, and hopefully we'll And so as you see all these freedoms and people get paranoid, right? Oh, well, people shouldn't be allowed just to sell food, right? It's okay to go to a restaurant that's filthy dirty as long as they're paying the government permits and the FDA, right? It's okay to go get poisoned with chemical-filled rubbish. And that's safe because the FDA approved that chemical, right? But it's somehow dangerous and crazy to stop at the side of the road and buy corn on the cob from a mother with a baby hanging off her apron, or buy barbecue chicken or tacos from a man who decided to set up a little restaurant outside his home. You see what you see here? We just came up this back road, right? This dusty back road. Let me just show you guys. We just came up this dirty back road. And you come out here and you'll see this all over Mexico today. People just doing their thing. Here's people playing baseball right here. That's cool. There's one of the baseball teams. I could drive around this town and I would probably find 3 or 4 different fields in this one town where people were playing baseball and or soccer, okay? I bet if we go down here, if we cruise down here, what do you see? Here comes the loitering, right? Just simple stuff. These parks aren't grand. They're not over the top. Do you want to get Swan out and let her run for a minute? It's just people. And sometimes my gringo being used to, like, you know, I don't know, huge events and everything being over the top, I'm like, oh, don't they get bored? And then I'm like, what am I talking about? Like, people are just enjoying life. I have to stop thinking so gringo. You know what I mean? So on the one hand, here's the soccer field. People playing soccer down here. People, hola! Buenas tardes! Hello. Good, you? There's Swanee. You wanna go play? Gracias. Yes, it works good. Here. My name? See, they're just down here drinking their beer. Estado de Washington. Yeah. Yep. We're just doing. It's my friends on YouTube. Say hola. Oh, it's okay. Lleno. Gracias. Maybe later. I just ate. You guys speak good English. You been to the United States? Yeah. It kind of sucks. Mucho más libertad in Mexico. United States is going like this. It used to be good, but it's going.
Spanish.
Poco español. I'm learning. Yeah, poco más día a día. Okay, you want to go play, Swanee? Hey, mucho gusto. Buenas tardes, gentlemen. People just having their picnics, doing their thing. Come on, Swanee. Playing baseball. See what I mean? Now you could say, well, hey, these things are happening in the States, right? You can go down to the park and you can do all these things. And don't get me wrong, I mean, we're all human beings, right? But we're conditioned and trained and essentially forced to think like robots. And that's what I'm getting at. In a society that even has a little bit of freedom, the government doesn't tell you where you can stand and whether you can loiter or whether you can cruise around the block to wink at pretty girls, because that's illegal and you'll get a fine for that because you're polluting the streets with your car. You don't think that way. You don't think I have to have a permit and a permission. You don't think an immigrant needs papers to live and to work. You don't think I need to ask the government. You don't think, can I do this? When you think free for living and doing normal human activities. And in the USA, whether it's the illegal chicken breasts I just bought on the side of the road that the police would surround you and fine you and take your equipment for making, or whether it's just playing in the local park, you know, a group of guys hanging out into the tree while another group of kids play soccer in the field. See, if you did that at a park in the USA, the police would come and harass you and say you were loitering and that you were drinking alcohol in an illegal location. You know they would. Something to think about. Are we acting like robots in the USA? Why do you think it is? They tell us we're the best and the greatest and we need to fear everywhere else and we need to build walls to keep them out and we need to arrest them because they're terrorists. Why do you think they spend billions of dollars to convince you of that? Maybe it's because they're the terrorists. The USA are the terrorists. Maybe it's because the USA is the prison. Maybe it's because we're New Berlin. and they have to lock us in. All I can say is, I'm glad I escaped, and we should all know when to get out. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to go spend a little time with the family. Good to see you all. Like this, share, subscribe. Think about we had some fun today, but think about this stuff. Be careful out there, and stay out of the hands of Blue ISIS. All right, guys, peace.